think it's murder. I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help? Yeah, that's me. But February, I mean, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder? I didn't murder Simon. You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person. I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other, just that. Stories. Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful things. Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. And border photo is a spring photo. This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have. It's the Rockington Arms, the Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks. It's the Rockington Arms, the Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks. Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games, you know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing. Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games, you know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
Hello? Narinig na ba ako? Oh my god. Ngayon lang narinig. Okay, hello. Hello, Jericho. Hello, Kuya Lance. Hello, Carlo. Hello, RM. No, Mike, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. Pero what you call this? Naka-on na yung mic. Actually, naka-on naman siya. Hindi lang naka-select. Anyway, hindi nyo ka naririnig pero narinig nyo naman yung game. Basically, today, we are playing this game called Her Story. It's a mystery game. It's about a murder of someone named Simon. And the way it works is you have to search... Basically, I have to watch everything. And I have to find these videos by looking through the database, and yun yung search bar sa taas. So, nililista ko lahat ng proper nouns na marinig ko, and yun yung isa-search ko later because I think yun yung mga like may relevance. So, yeah. I don't know what Amstrad is. If you guys know, please tell me. It might help.
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy.
Okay.
Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident. So what do we do next?
Okay. Ito na yun, no? Okay, so let's check. Where do you drink? Oh, okay.
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job. He didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock, that's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all.
So it's a Sunday.
Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come see you. His parents haven't heard anything either.
Oh, he's missing. It isn't established that he's murdered. What's the name of the dude?
So,
Wait.
it's the Rockington Arms, the Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan.
I've watched this.
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I guess The Rock. You've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong.
Oh, this is a significant amount of time has passed. Okay.
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job. He didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at The Rock, that's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since.
Mm-hmm.
He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come see you. His parents haven't heard anything either.
Okay.
No one has been in the last few weeks. We had a plumber come in 3-4 weeks ago. Someone summoned you from The Rock.
Okay, let's check this dude.
He was wearing a shirt, a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house. He was wearing a shirt, a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house.
Well, I don't know. Cancel.
Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier, and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it.
Okay.
Both of them are there now, parked in the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
Okay.
Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one. Well, Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
Diane. Why bring up Diane? Thank you, Kuya Lance. 125. Thank you. Okay, I still have a lot of stuff that I can check, so yun lang. Okay, no room. Sign.
Simon.
Already checked. Oh, there's one.
No. I think he spoke to Helen. She said he was upset about her argument, but I'm not sure what else he said. He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
Once. Peter, Susan, Barmaiden, Amstrad,
wasn't in the house all of Friday night. After the argument, after Simon left, I left too. I was upset and I wanted to get away. So I took the car. I got in the car and I drove.
Okay.
And just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. I just had to sleep.
Okay.
I left the next day, Saturday. I slept for a few hours in the car. And when I woke up, I came straight back. Simon wasn't returning my calls and I wanted to try and make up. I got back to the house and Simon wasn't there. And I... Is there a bin?
Oh my god. What the fuck? What?
Yeah. I pulled over and slept in the car. This was just by the side of the road. I was exhausted.
Okay. Is that it? Okay, house.
Sure. Yes, of course, if that would help. Will you phone the house to let me know when you want to come round? Then I can make sure that I'm there.
Suspicious?
He has a wallet, a huge silly thing, leather, real leather, I think. He packs it full of stuff, business cards, receipts, lottery tickets. He always carries it in his back pocket. I think that's why he's got a bad back. He sets the discs. I haven't seen it, so he must have it on him. He always takes it out of his back pocket before, when he comes in, if he's in the house. I wasn't in the house.
Okay, context. Give me context, please. Kinda sus, right? Anong keyboard? Shit. I don't know. I forgot what this keyboard is. CK350 Cooler Master. Yeah. Ingay niya, no? But I really like the clicky. 19 entries. Okay. Shit. Okay. Hold on. Okay.
Yes. I got to Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from the payphone, and then headed back.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste.
Oh, I haven't checked it out yet.
That time, you must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then. No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning. When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving licence on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine.
Okay, I didn't know she
The
was
hospital
pregnant.
must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car. Ask the hospital.
Interesting. Interesting.
I don't see how it's hard. We've established I was in Glasgow when he was killed. We've spoken with the hospital. I thought it made me sound suspicious. It's not a normal thing to do to drive to the other end of the country. I wanted to keep it simple. I knew it was stupid not to tell you everything. Saying I spent the night in Glasgow when my husband went missing, I thought it would, distract you from what was important. It's different now. Mary's.
Okay. So, di niyo sinabi nung una na umalis siya. Pero now na murder na yung pinag-uusapan, biglang niyang sasabihin na wala siya sa area. Oh my god. Okay. Interesting. Interesting information. Let's go by the days of the week. Sunday, Saturday.
It was late. Early Saturday morning.
Okay, this is giving me nothing.
Well, a week or so ago. It would have been the Saturday before my birthday. I get like that on the weekends, have a lie-in, then want to get up and blitz the house.
She said she was pregnant. Okay, here we go. New info.
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married.
Oh, they didn't love each other.
Yes, I'm fine. I won't be sick again.
Oh, this is
This
happening.
happens some days. I'm pregnant. This morning sickness. No. Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant.
Putik, ba't nag-iba yung music namin?
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind.
Okay, that's a different
But
Rapunzel
she kills
story.
him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
What does Rapunzel have to do with this? Rapunzel. Why? Oh, that's a lot. I found something.
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. How many of these in colour? Did I pass? Sorry, I messed it up with all that Rapunzel stuff. Do you need me to do that card again? Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there? We were obsessed with fairy tales. Not just the pretty, pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flick between pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper, undressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger.
Okay. Okay, okay, we have few stuff, like the dolls, but I want to talk about you first.
I guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. It was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to Come Back and Stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us. Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once and I held Eve's head underwater.
The fuck's Eve?
There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach and I held her head under and I kept it out. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment. I mean, we made up after. It was a love-hate relationship.
Who's Eve?
It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
Is this? Motherfucker. Chattomate. Okay, so was that the confession?
Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes. A police station. Yeah, when I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. the taxi driver we paid to drop us off. I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve. So my parents let me off. What are you doing talking about Eve?
So Hannah's her name?
Poor son.
Interesting.
My mother called me Eve.
Huh? Beach?
Nothing else happened that night. We talked, then I said goodbye. Then next week I was singing the bar again, and there he was. And again the next week, he offered to buy me a meal. I told him I had already eaten, and so we got chips and ate them on the beach instead. When we said goodbye, he asked me to kiss him. Romantic.
Okay. Birthday? Oh, okay.
Yes, that's my birthday. Not one of the big ones, but I guess you can see that. It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present. I guess I didn't like the present.
Present.
From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up, and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake, children sang me happy birthday. Then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway, and Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. It turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left.
Oh my god, there's a lot.
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was wonderful to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday. We couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full-time at the Glaziers. That was Eric's generosity. We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby, if it came. It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months, full of hope.
Then what happened?
No,
Oh,
I lost the baby.
that's sad.
I had a miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after.
Until?
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Sam's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff we never needed, and I never had the heart to throw out. And I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags.
They're gonna throw away the kids.
Pulled them open,
The goggles.
saw the body. I screamed, and that's when I called the police.
Okay, so... God, don't... Ah!
Yes. It was a shock to him. I mean, we never thought it was possible. I don't know what he... I mean, I hadn't decided whether to keep the baby. I wasn't really ready to talk to him about it.
Okay. A lot of things happening in the cellar.
No. The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen, you can probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there. The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours. Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today, and that was weird, knowing your people have been there through my things. It's like I've been burgled. Only worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't looked in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in. As good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation. So... Black coffee, thanks. No sugar. I'm sweet enough as it is. My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H. It's a palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though. It's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith. I live at 31 Gladstone Street. A mobile phone? Yeah. Well, they have one for the Glaziers, but it's only for work. I can't remember the number. Oh, it's in the kitchen. I saw it plugged into its charging cradle. Diana's really nice.
Oh, I haven't
She helps
checked
out
her
with the Glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there. I did. Well, we met when we were 17, both working at the Glaziers.
Okay.
No. Everyone loved Simon. He's a glazier who doesn't have much money. I don't know. I don't know. Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diana's a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off CFAX, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel? Simon and Eric arguing? No, I can't imagine they'd be arguing. And they get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane. No, Simon didn't play guitar. He wasn't very musical. He liked to listen, but he was tone deaf. Yes. Yeah, it's my guitar.
Okay.
You want me to play something? I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay. Probably needs tuning. No. How about a traditional ballad? Should be right up your street. Sisters came walking by the sea. Oh, the wind and the rain. The eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain.
What the heck?
See, they both had a love for the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain, but he only cared for the youngest one. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, the eldest envied her sister fair. Oh, the wind and the rain, with a pretty little face and her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. So she pushed her in and held her down. Oh, the wind and the rain watched her as she slowly drowned. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, she floated up and she floated down. Oh, the wind and the rain floated till a ship came by. Oh, the dreadful wind. So I think that's a good place to stop.
Interesting. Day. Hello. Hello, Denchester. Good evening. Kung meron kayong maisip na like, tawag dyan, kung meron kayong maisip na keywords. Sabihan niyo ako, and then we can try it. Okay? If meron kayong gustong i-try na word, comment niyo lang. Sister, does she has a sister?
When she went home, Simon had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister he didn't know she had. She knew that instant. The look on his face. She knew.
She knew what?
When she went home, Simon had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister. She sent him out the house, kicked him out, called me up, crying, and I went round. I guess I had a feeling I could hear something was wrong in her voice, but I wasn't sure what it was. She called me sister on the phone. She never calls me that.
Who is this? Who is this sister?
My sister is gone. And she's never coming back. At the time they said it was poison, food poisoning. I mean, I felt so guilty. If I'd still been at home, maybe I could have done something. I didn't. I mean, I don't know. Something must have happened to him on his way home. He could be hurt. I mean, why hasn't he phoned? I don't know.
Okay, bin? Bag?
When will the police let me back in the house? They let me take a bag of clothes with me, but...
That was nothing.
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly in the living room. Nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor.
What the heck?
And then I decided to come and see you. That enough? Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. I could tell because the key wouldn't turn when I tried to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg.
It's the
I
same.
couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly into the living room. Nothing. I walked upstairs to the bedroom, he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. Then I had a shower. Whilst I was in the shower, the phone rang. I think it was Eric, his boss. I didn't answer it. Then I came out and I was just
so
exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, but I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. I spoke to him. Then I called Simon's parents. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough? No, he doesn't keep a diary. That's my thing. I've kept one, well, as long as I can remember, since I was a girl. It helps make sense of my day. And when you're forced to put something into words, it just gives you perspective. Everyone's on the same page. Rehearse?
Everyone?
You ask me the same question, you'll get the same answer. Is that your evidence? Of course I thought about what happened then. It's all I've thought about. My husband is dead.
Okay, let's check the diary. Whoa!
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help.
We've got twins.
I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper. Florence was a warm, kind person. But she was broken, I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it. Older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story wasn't there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand, I guess. I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know.
Oh gosh, we have a twin in our hands.
Um,
Or something.
When I was 8, Mother died. She slipped down the stairs. It was an accident. I had read a diary at that point and I knew she wasn't my real mother. So I burned the diary that day and I left.
Real mother.
Walked out and across the street. It just became our way of life. We would swap places and take it in turns to do things. And we were very careful. Whoever had been out that day would come back and write a detailed diary so that we were on the same page.
So that everyone.
We had a list of rules that said what we could and couldn't do in any given situation. It was exhaustive. We lived a second life through those rules. Rules for things that could only ever happen inside our imaginations. We would consider all the permutations of future events and agree rules to walk our way through them. Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion. Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight. It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road. I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror. She was me.
So that everybody was
No.
on the same page.
It was just me and her. Eve was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question?
She denied.
Are you out of your mind? Twins?
They're accusing her of something.
There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had a pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her.
We?
Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things. No. I mean, yes, we have arguments, but he never runs off. He always comes back. We make up. It's always that way. A long time. We got married when I was 17.
17?
No, not drugs. I mean, he drinks, but never very much. He goes to the pub and has one or two. Sometimes we go together. He drinks wine with food, but no, he doesn't have any kind of drinking problem.
Oh god. Okay.
Yeah, we were 17. It was a nice wedding, people said. Simon looked very handsome in the photos. His parents paid for everything, but he's an only child, so it was important to them. It was what they called a shotgun wedding, but if you looked at the photos, you couldn't tell. The dress was beautiful. It looked like Princess Diana's. The train wasn't quite as long though. There's a great photo of the bridesmaid helping to carry it out of the car.
Princess Diana seems to be a recurring thing.
No, I was 15. Carl was older.
What the heck's Carl?
17, I think. I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex. We did it in a church once. It was stupid. So he got tired of us and we split up after about 6 months. It was sad, but those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know? Family.
Okay, let's see who this Carl dude is.
Was he my first? No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl. He was a local boy in a band.
Boy in a band.
He was a bit of a shit. But he was sexy. We were 15.
Well, he was 15. You were 15, he was
Family.
15.
So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon. Differences? She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity.
What?
It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush.
What the fuck? What the heck is this?
After that, we took it in turns, though. I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
Okay, weird. Next.
Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous. Didn't want to share. Even the first date. We went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went. Kept changing places in the toilet. We only had the one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me. But that was it. We didn't want another Carl on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back.
Ouija board.
After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time. When beautiful people died, we always felt like it was a sign. You remember Princess Grace? Grace Kelly? She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her, and that gave us the power to find him. That's what we thought then. That people who died tragically leave some kind of magic behind. We used to share dreams. We used to wake up and write them down in our diaries immediately and compare them. It wasn't the present so much, it was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror, a nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me. Let me see. Yes. I drove in here because I remember, well, I went over the river. And then there was a church there. Yeah. And I probably parked, well, I remember seeing a street sign called Princess Street. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it must be this one. There. I don't know if anyone really changes. You just become more yourself. Simon was my prince, and that hasn't changed.
Interesting.
And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends, and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus he had that look.
Fairy
He
tale.
looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books. Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me, and I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. We do what we can.
It's true.
Well, she wasn't my real mother, but she raised me. Do you want to hear the story? It's a real-life fairy tale. Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors, and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories. I wanted to see my reflection. I thought that if I touched her, something would happen. We would become one. One girl. The fairy tale was over, the witch was dead, and I'd be restored to my rightful place.
Real mother. No. Actually, for NBI investigator, yes. Ano kaya? I don't know. Dreams?
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married.
Oh,
I'm not sure what he was thinking.
who's that?
He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream. No, he doesn't have any tattoos. He has a scar down here near his stomach, past his hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them off for the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not books so much, or watching TV. He likes TV.
Okay.
Oh, my tattoo. I got it to express my individuality. It's an apple and a snake. So I moved out. Got a small bedsit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings, so I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since.
Singing.
I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist. Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry. She recognized me from the window. She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. It was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
No.
Okay. There's a girl and she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out.
No way. Wait, I'm done? What? Wait, I could. Wait, what? mother did it, apparently. I'm confused. I'm so confused. Detective. Pero... What? Bro.
I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name. Well, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it by hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. It's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror and he gave it to me.
I'm so confused, honestly.
No, I've had enough coffee for today, thanks. Glass of water. About 8 years back, it was a present to myself. I shouldn't even be drinking coffee with the baby. It's been hard trying to give it up. I think they say you can have 1 cup. Coffee, I guess. Milk and sugar. Could I have a cup of tea? A cup of tea would be good, thanks. Just 1 sugar.
Okay.
Maybe a fresh cup of tea?
God, she likes tea. Not,
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there. I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, the lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all.
Wow.
Passports, diaries, gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights. Yes, I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play up there and make up our own stories. I hoover, I dust every week, maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that.
Interesting.
Yes. The first time we saw each other, it was strange. We both realised at the same moment, I think. We must have seen each other before, but there was this instant when we first realised it wasn't a reflection. The reflection was staring back. I think I was 5. It was my birthday. My reflection was wearing a party hat and waving. I knew what party hats were from books. And it suddenly occurred to me, today must be my birthday. I waved back and we just spent ages waving at each other and copying each other's movements. Silverleaf? No. He normally silvers them properly. This mirror, it's supposed to look antique. The reflection isn't as good. It's the perfect mirror for someone who doesn't like to look at their own reflection. Mother wanted me to grow my hair long, but I kept cutting it myself. I wanted to look like my reflection. She always had short hair when she was little. Mother would hide the scissors, but I would find a way. Cut it with a bread knife, something like that. My reflection would always leave her house and go on adventures, but I never could. Mother taught me at home, and I had books and TV. Oh, TV was magical. But it was only on when it wanted to be, so I spent a lot of time reading books. mirror? I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. I haven't looked at it since. His body didn't look real. And his throat. It looked like his throat had been cut. And I didn't see his glasses. There's these thick glasses.
Oh, I know this one. Hello, Black Lobster.
It doesn't always wear. On his throat. How? Like I said before, it was 3, something like that. I walked in, saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room. His throat had been cut. There was a lot of blood. Yeah, he was dead.
Okay, interesting.
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present. Another mirror. Just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open.
Oh shit.
She'd only meant to scare him off. Okay. I've given blood before. Do you need to take that for your records? Nothing like this has ever happened to me before. The blood. It's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me. She was sat behind him. She had my wig on. And she'd been there all day. And she had blood on her. And she was in shock. There's married couple stuff. A stupid argument, nothing specific. No one knows how to push a
50%
button,
pa lang?
especially those you're close to.
Damn. Blood, chill, mirror.
Yeah. They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage. The worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck.
Oh wait, I'm the daughter of... I don't know who the mom is, but...
That's all that matters really, the baby. Simon's dead, but the baby, that's how he will live on. Our baby. You're reaching here. Oh, I don't know why. No, I've never cheated on anyone. I've never taken anything from anyone. Simon is dead. But I have my baby to care for.
Why?
Why are you trying to make me sad? Why are you so obsessed with sex and affairs? You cheated on your wife. Is this your thing? It was supposed to be a secret. Just because Simon is dead doesn't mean I have to give up all his secrets. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to Simon. No one murdered my husband because he cheated his expenses for a romantic weekend in Oxford. There was a conference, something to do with double glazing, in Oxford. Are you sure? What would he be doing in Oxford if there was no conference? I remember calling him. He said it was boring and he spent most of the time at the bar. When we weren't together, we'd send secret messages by tapping out a code that we'd left from a book, the knock code. Something prisoners of war would use. We'd tap them out on radiator pipes or the attic floor. Dad thought we had mice, but they couldn't find any. Bought a cat anyway. I think when I drove back it was about 8 or something. And I got back to the house about 3.
Yeah, that's when killed him.
I think so. I mean, to get into our garden, we'd have to climb through other gardens. All the gardens back onto each other, so you'd have to climb over 1, 2, 3 gardens to get to ours. I mean, did anyone see anything? Did anyone see anyone come and go? An intruder?
Okay. Yeah.
I think it was that time, the first time at the house, in his bed, that I got pregnant. Amazing, right? This fucking magic sperm. And they say lightning doesn't strike twice.
So they were both pregnant. Holy shit.
I didn't tell him. I missed 3 periods. I had pretty irregular periods anyway, but 3. I had always thought we were infertile. Both of us. I didn't tell him. Just waited. Hannah and I were meeting for our birthday, and I told her because I thought she would be happy for us both. I think she was. Good. Happy. I mean, ups and downs like any couple, I guess, but we've been married for over 10 years.
Sheesh.
A wig? You mean? But what type of wig? No, I've never worn a wig. What kind of wig? This other person doesn't exist. I don't know what the blonde wig is, but it could be anything. Have you looked at the cat flap?
I haven't tried blonde yet,
Yeah.
haven't I?
The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow, so we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognized me, I started wearing a wig. Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant, but I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers, drunk guys I'd met in clubs, in parks and alleyways. I was 17. It felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD. When we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. I had a hard to look sometimes.
It's so hard.
We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people? I mean, that seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us wanted it. We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan. This was about 9. I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry, the kind of anger you can only have towards yourself. We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing and she tore it off. Eventually we grew tired of fighting and I left. Really? Okay. Here's the rest. They laid a body on the dock to oh, the wind and the rain, till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by on the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long hair on the wind and the rain. Yes, he made a fiddle bow of her long blonde hair on the dreadful wind and rain. And he made fiddle Yes, he made fiddle pegs from her finger bones. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle out of her breastbone. Oh, the wind and rain. The sound could pierce a heart of stone. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. But the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Anything you sing may be used as evidence against you.
I'm lost. Park. Park.
Bruce? Oh, yeah, no, it's nothing. I was going through the top cupboard in my kitchen and the chair slipped and I kind of hit the door with my face. I mean, it hurt like hell.
Bruce.
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes.
Wrong side, Mama.
I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policemen. I found the body.
Yeah, it's the wrong side.
If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to put our
Oh,
hands to
God.
match. Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. But she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. She snuck a frozen piece up for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies was synchronised anyway. We started our period on the same day. All our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits.
I don't know. I'm lost. I'm hella lost. Ano sinabi kanina?
No. Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant.
Here's something new.
Childhood sweethearts. Something like that.
I'm so lost. I don't know.
Are you married, detective? Mum and Dad never knew what was going on. And got so good at it. We were so in sync that we'd use each other to cheat. If one of us had a hangover, the other one would go to school. Whoever was best at a subject would sit the exam. There were lots of differences between us. Some things one is better than the other at. Yes, I'll take a lie detector test. I've never taken a lie detector test before. Does it really work? My name. That was the only question I failed. Your lie detector works. What did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair? Well, I didn't kill him. I wasn't even there. I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him. I mean, what if they were crazy? You hear about these crazy people all the time. I mean, why would anyone who knew Simon want to kill him?
Which unfair. Must be something.
An affair? Simon wasn't having an affair. Okay, you got me. I'll confess. We were there. It was a dirty weekend. Simon was going to expense it, pretend it was a business trip. I used a made-up name. We stayed at the hotel, had room service, didn't leave the room, had a great view of the river, and you could hear the church bells. Like you said, it was very romantic. I sleep on the right side of the bed as you come in from the door. You can tell because I have 2 pillows and he just has 1. And the hotel said he was there?
I don't know. I feel like... Oh, God. He was in Oxford. At a hotel. Blonde. He's the wig. Bruce. Blood. Throat. Cut. Chop. I don't know. God.
I didn't. I slept in the car. I left about 9 that night. I wasn't there. Yeah, I had to let myself in. The door locks if it swings too. No, they were shut. Most of the windows were really hard to open anyway. They're stifling in summer. They were painted over by my dad. Could have left a door open accidentally. Or there's a cat flap in the back door. No, no cat. My parents had a cat before they died called Domino. It was this little black thing with white dots.
Yeah.
And we never did anything about the cat flap, but if you were thin, you could maybe squeeze through it.
I'm so lost. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I mean, ang weird kasi technically natapos yung game. It gave me the credit, so I'm not sure what I'm looking for here. I just want more explanation on the story, but maybe I should just watch it. No? Maybe I should just watch. Because I'm so lost. Ah, nakuha na pala serie. Okay. I guess, I'm just lost. What I can do is we can watch a little bit of the playthrough of this.
Sup YouTube, what's going on?
But I don't. How do I check for the ending of this? Let's watch a quick ending explained. A little identity reveal by Mater Wellons. Mater Wellons. That's a cute name. How do I window capture. There we go. Okay. OBS.
Okay, I've been at this for quite a while. I really
Wow.
don't know what this last clip is.
Sheesh.
And honestly, I don't think this clip is going to change our perception of these clips in general
I only
too
got
much.
to 50%.
So I'm
Wow.
thinking I'm just gonna end off now. Because really, there's no point in trying to get every single detail and be all pedantic about it if it's not gonna contribute to our understanding, right? So I'm gonna call SB now and see what happens. Let's see. That's not a call, that's a freaking chat message. No, I'm not. Just kidding, just kidding. Yes. What's going to happen? Good, so you think you understand why your mother did what she did? Oh my god, she killed my father. I guess so, yes. I'm glad, Sarah. I'll be waiting outside. Log off and we can meet over the road.
Oopsie.
Oh my god, holy crap. Very confident about their story when they let you go through the story in any order you might find the clips in. That's kind of a brave. How do we unlock? Okay, so admin random. Oh! Whoa, oh, that just comes up with this, like a random clip. That's not very useful in finding that last clip. Oh,
Damn,
come on.
that's so hassle.
What about admin? I found the clip, so I think this is gonna lead us to it. Wow! Clip. A transcript of the entire game. We're back. Okay, I looked up a transcript of the entire game, and I found the clip. So I think this is gonna lead us to it.
Oh my
Wow!
god, ang
I had to search
hassle.
yep. I never I know it's pronounced yup, but I never type it like that. I do YUP and I wouldn't search that instead of yes anyway, so I don't think I would have ever gone that.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yes.
That's it?
I guess that was when she made her mistake in saying my name is Hannah Smith. But oh, look at that. Beautiful. All green squares. Got an
Wow.
achievement to go with that. And yeah, I think
Wow.
that's a wrap for this then. Yeah.
I mean, I think personally, I think I got most of the story. I mean, somehow I understood it, but I just give me another clip.
Fascinating game about piecing together the as you pull clips from a computerized filing system by searching for words spoken in. The game is open-ended and in a way open to interpretation. There's no quiz at the end, no video clip that explains everything, no final cutscene, so you're left to puzzle out exactly what happened on your lonesome.
Oh,
If the
God.
game left you confused, let us explain what happened. And as we said at the top, this will spoil the game, so this is your Good. Right. Hannah Smith killed her husband, Simon Smith. That much I think anyone could have predicted. What you were probably surprised to learn is that you're not just watching Hannah give testimony, but also a woman who
There's
looks
two
exactly
people,
like her,
yeah.
called Eve. We think that on June 18th, Eve is being interviewed, but pretending to be Hannah. Then on June 25th, it's Hannah, and on June 27th, Eve is back, again pretending to be Hannah. We think this because we will later learn that Hannah receives a bruise on her face in a fight before any of the interviews take place, but she only has it during the second interview. In the third, it's gone, and Eve touches the wrong side of her face.
I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff.
And we'll soon find out that Eve is the one who is pregnant. On the 30th of June, Hannah is back. We know this because she has no tattoo on her arm, like Eve does in the next session on July 1st. It's hard to tell who is there for the short interview that takes place on July 2nd, but on July 3rd, it's definitely Eve. She fails a lie detector test about her name.
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. My name? That was the only question I failed. Your lie detector works.
And then fesses up. This interview with Eve in the white shirt is the source of most of the truth about her story, though I guess the caveat is that we don't get Hannah's side of the story on any of this, so we just have to trust what Eve is saying. With that being said, let's go through everything from the girl's birth to this testimony in a whirlwind tour of girls are indeed twins.
When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead.
But a midwife called Florence split them up, took Eve in and raised her as her own daughter. Eventually, Hannah and Eve meet.
We must have seen each other before, but there was this instant.
Yeah.
The reflection was
House and lives in Hannah's attic. Throughout their childhood and teenage years, the two girls would swap places. They embrace each other's unique strengths and keep a diary to stay on the same page.
if one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt tooth first. We had to pull on Hannah's tooth.
She won't share this man with her twin sister. But when Hannah meets Simon, she decides she won't share this man with her twin sister.
Hannah insisted I not pretend to be her around Simon, let alone sleep with him. We didn't share him like the others. The rules had changed.
And things get especially complicated when Hannah gets pregnant and moves out of her family house and into Simon's. Eve tries, but she can't get pregnant to match, and she's stuck in the attic of Hannah's parents' house. But then Hannah loses the baby, and doctors say this made her infertile.
I was infertile. Thought I was. They told me I was infertile after the miscarriage because of complications.
That same year, in 1984, Hannah's parents die, and Simon and Hannah move into the parents' home. But Eve moves out.
Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings.
Then one day, she meets Simon at a show.
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was.
Magkamukha sila pero iba lang
He
yung
was
hair and then you don't know.
fascinated by the likeness.
They sleep together, and Eve gets pregnant, but she doesn't tell Simon or Hannah.
I had always thought we were infertile. Both of us.
Kamukha,
I didn't tell him.
naintindihan niya
On the
kung
twins'
magkamukha
birthday,
sila,
the
pero
day of the murder, Eve tells Hannah about her baby.
I told her because I thought she would be happy for us both.
But she lies about the father.
I told her it was one of my boyfriends, someone I had met in the bar.
When Simon comes home that day, he gives Hannah a unique mirror as a birthday present.
He made it himself. It was a special one-off. He made it and decorated it. That's his thing.
Hannah then finally tells Simon about Eve and Eve's pregnancy and says she wants to help her twin sister.
Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister he didn't know she had.
But
She knew that instant. The look on his face.
so she kicks him out. Hannah calls up Eve and they fight.
We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing, she tore it off. Eventually, we grew tired of fighting and I left.
Eve goes to Glasgow in her car.
I was driving badly and I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. He made sure I got... Can't be in two places at once.
More on that in a moment. Back home, we get this.
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. He said he wanted to be with me.
Oh gosh.
Then he took out a present,
Okay.
another mirror. Just like the one he'd given her earlier. That
Okay.
unique present.
I got all the parts that
She
I
went
needed.
crazy.
I just didn't
Smashed the mirror.
understand it.
They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open.
Yikes. So Eve returns home and finds Simon dead.
I walked in, saw Simon.
Okay, that makes more sense. Oh my god.
He was on the floor of the living room.
and Hannah is there, covered in blood. The two hide the body, and then the watch.
The watch. That was my touch.
They set the time to when Eve is in Glasgow to make the alibi stick. Eve, pretending to be Hannah, then goes to the police, saying Simon is missing. She returns a few days later and says she found the body.
I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body.
But things start to get a bit messy when the police find hairs from Eve's wig.
Could the hairs have come from somewhere else?
And then the police, like you do, suspect Hannah of being two people.
Twins? Really?
Finally, Eve confesses all, as you've seen in the clips above. Eve then asks for a lawyer.
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other,
You're just that.
just that. Stories.
And then we get the final word on Hannah.
My sister is gone. And she's never coming back.
Oh, she's dead too.
And that's the story, or at least that's what we hear from Eve. Maybe there's more to it. Perhaps Eve and Hannah aren't different after all, and this is just some maniacal plea to get out of jail. Or maybe Eve murdered Simon and is blaming Hannah. That much is up to you to decide. Let us know your theories in the comments below. But thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the game.
Okay. That was a lot. Very interesting. Very. But yeah, I guess that was her story. And yeah, it was interesting. A little bit confusing, but at the start, pero yeah. Apparently, for the sake of like all of the story, piecing it together, like I had the parts, I just didn't know how to weave it all together, and this video did that for me. So I guess that's all for now. It was a very good game though. It was very fun. I kind of lost myself there for a while. Just watching everything, trying to list down all of the words that they say para alam ko kung ano yung hahanapin. Pero yeah, it's fun. It was a good game. If you have the Xbox Game Pass, it's only 50 pesos for the first, I don't know, 3 months. Super worth it. And tatry ko pang sulitan yung Xbox Game Pass as much as I can. Yeah. I guess that's all for now. Thank you very much sa nanonood. Thank you very much sa isang nanonood pa. And yeah, see you. Bye bye. Next time ulit. Sana nag-enjoy kayo.